Okay, let's just get right to it. There's this one question that's causing so much anxiety for pretty much everyone right now. How in the world do I stay relevant when AI is changing everything? Today, we're going to dig into that, and trust me, the answer is not what you think it is.
And here it is, right? This is the question that's probably bouncing around in your head too. What's the one skill, the one language, the one magic certificate that's going to be my shield against automation? We're all desperately looking for some solid ground in a world that feels like it's changing under our feet. But here's the twist. What if you're asking the completely wrong question? What if that very search for a single, safe skill is the biggest trap of all? The whole idea we're exploring today is that this question, while totally understandable, is based on an old playbook for a game that just doesn't exist anymore.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll break down why we're asking the wrong question and why the old career playbook is totally obsolete. Then, we'll build a new framework, the 4 layers of relevance, and a real study strategy you can actually use. After that, we'll look at where AI is heading next, and we'll finish up with your call to action.
All right, Section 1, the wrong question. The big idea here is that AI isn't just another app on your phone. It's not something you can just learn. Think of it more like, we just discovered the laws of physics work differently now. When the fundamental rules change, memorizing the old plays is pointless. You have to learn how to read the new game as it's happening.
Okay, so that leads us right into Section 2. For decades, our careers were built on this idea of a stable, predictable world. But that world is gone. And holding on to those old strategies, well, it's like showing up to a battle wearing armor made of tissue paper.
This slide just lays it out so clearly. The whole contract we had with our careers has been torn up. The old deal was simple. You learn a solid technical skill, you master it, and you're good for years, maybe even decades. But the new deal? Everything decays. The half-life of any given technical skill is just collapsing. What you learn today might be irrelevant by next year. And that right there, that's the source of all this anxiety, isn't it? That cozy, safe feeling you got from that certification, from finally mastering that one piece of software, it's just gone. If your whole strategy is just collecting credentials, you're building that paper armor. So the real question we need to ask isn't what should I learn, it's who do I need to become?
And that question leads us perfectly into Section 3, the 4 layers of relevance. This is where we stop panicking and start building a real strategy. Instead of chasing temporary tools, we're going to focus on building a personal stack of capabilities that actually last, because they're based on adaptability, not just knowledge.
So, what's in this stack? It's 4 layers. Think of it like building a house. At the foundation, we've got domain mastery. Then we add the fundamentals. On top of that, the skill of asking. And holding it all together at the top is resilience. Let's dig into each one.
Okay, Layer 1, domain mastery. Here's the deal. When an AI can spit out 1,000 generic answers in a second, general knowledge becomes cheap, almost worthless. The real value, the priceless stuff, is your deep, specialized judgment in one specific field. Whether it's biology or construction or finance, you're the one who can look at an AI's answer and say, nope, that's wrong, or wow, that's brilliant, or even, hey, that's actually dangerous. You become the expert with a superpower, not the person replaced by the machine.
Next up, Layer 2, the fundamentals. It is so tempting to chase the newest, shiniest app. That's the interface. But interfaces change every other week, right? The engine underneath, the core principles, those don't. Things like math, systems thinking, clear communication. These are recession-proof. They never expire. An AI can write a sentence, sure, but can you think? It can give you an output, but can you judge if it's any good?
And that brings us to the 3rd layer, the skill of asking. You know, in the old world, your value came from knowing the answers. Well, newsflash, answers are cheap now. They're everywhere. The new superpower is asking incredible questions. You can use AI as a crutch, and trust me, you'll get weaker. You'll start confusing its confident-sounding nonsense with actual truth. Or you can use it as a sparring partner. You can use it to attack a problem from every angle, to find your own blind spots. You become the pilot, directing the AI, not just the passenger along for the ride.
And finally, Layer 4, resilience. And please, don't think of this as some cheesy motivational poster on the wall. This is a hardcore technical capability. In a world that's changing this fast, you will be wrong. Your projects will fail. You will have to pivot. Resilience is the operational skill of moving through that failure, grabbing the lesson, and getting right back in the game, without losing speed or getting bogged down by ego. It's not a nice-to-have, it's a survival skill.
Okay, so we've got our 4 layers. Awesome. But how do you actually build them? That's what Section 4 is all about. We're going to turn these abstract ideas into concrete actions you can start doing today. So to build this stack, you've got to adopt some new habits. First, your identity. Stop thinking of yourself as a job title. You're not a Python developer. You're a problem solver who happens to use Python. See the difference? Second, proof. Forget collecting certificates. Build real-world projects that show you can actually do something. Third, your perspective. Don't just study one subject in a vacuum. Study the whole system it's a part of. And fourth, collaboration. The future isn't being built in rigid hierarchies, it's being built by nimble networks of people working together.
All right, Section 5. This is where things get really wild. So far, we've mostly talked about knowledge work, stuff that happens on a screen. But the next massive wave is AI jumping out of the computer and into our physical world. We're talking robots, manufacturing, logistics. This changes everything. And this is the perfect moment to tackle the question I know is on your mind. With AI writing its own code now, do I still even need to learn how to do it myself? The answer isn't a simple yes or no, but it is super important.
Look, the skill itself is just shifting. In the old world, the value was in knowing the syntax, speaking the machine's language. But in this new world, where you can just talk to the AI in plain English, the value is in understanding structure. Can you describe a problem so clearly that an AI can solve it? Can you define the rules and constraints? And most importantly, can you look at the code it spits out and judge if it's good, secure, and efficient? You're not the scribe anymore, you're the architect.
And this is where AI plus physics comes in. When AI starts controlling robots on a factory floor or drones in the sky, it has to deal with the real world. And the real world doesn't care about your elegant code. It has gravity, it has friction, it has consequences. A software bug might crash your app. A robotics bug can break $1 million machine, or worse, hurt someone. This is creating a huge demand for people who can bridge that gap between the digital and the physical, engineers and technicians who understand both worlds.
Which leads us to our final section, your call to action. The message here is simple. It's time for urgency, not panic. This isn't something to put on your to-do list for next year. The game is already being played, and you need to get on the field.
And this quote just nails it. The winners and losers in this new era, it's not going to be about who's the smartest. It's going to be about who actually uses the leverage. And right now, AI is giving you more leverage than at any other point in human history. The ability to learn, to build, to create, it's just off the charts.
So what can you do? Like right after this is over? Here's a simple 3-step plan. First, pick one domain, just one, that you actually give a damn about. Second, find a real problem in that space, something that feels a little scary, a little too hard. And third, start using AI as your teammate, your co-pilot, and just start building a solution.
And as you start doing this, remember the real goal here. You are not trying to learn one perfect thing that will make you safe forever. That's the old playbook, and we're throwing it out. Your new goal is to become a learning system yourself, an adaptive person who can thrive no matter what comes next.
So I want to leave you with this one final thought. For the first time ever, intelligence itself is becoming abundant, like a commodity. It's being manufactured. So the real question for you, for me, for all of us, isn't about how to stay relevant anymore. It's this: if intelligence is everywhere, what are you going to do that's worthy of it?